Hey, welcome to a brand new episode of Straight Up Show podcast. I am your host, Calvin, and if you're listening to this episode right now, as of today, this recording, it is currently Black History Month, but here Straight Up, we want to celebrate Black 365, 366 if you have some other time for sleep here. But, we are continuing to talk about culture, and one thing that we love embracing other cultures as well, but also our own culture as African Americans as well. Now, if you are a fan of our show, you know that we are a mixed breed of people. We have two males, two black males, one black female, and one white male as well. And we like to try to incorporate all that. We have different backgrounds, different upbringings, and stuff like that. But we all want to bring the conversation to the table. And one of the reasons that we started Straight Up is because a lot of us, except one, have worked in media for a long time. Some people are still, one of our co-hosts is still working in media, but we know how censored some stories can be. And we feel like that you have to be straight up. And it's like a catch-22, but really, a lot of people can't get their stories across because it's so heavily censored. Now, that's how we got our podcast started. Now, I'm not really big a fan of social media because it's so much on there. But I came across these gentlemen who were just what we call the news MOSs, which is man on the street, where you go out and actually interview people on the street. And the concept was just so great that I had to have them on our show. And today we have some people that I'm learning to like, and they're actually in my hometown in Dallas right now. So help me welcome Mr. Deon and Bashir, aka Paparazzi. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for coming on Straight Up Show podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, sir. And they are part of Bob Black Television, right? Are they right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So it's crazy because I often see Bashir, aka Paparazzi, but I talk more with Deon. So it's kind of weird how this works. So I'm like, hey, I just want to say, for the both of y'all, I am a very big fan, and I love the work you do, Bashir. The work that you do, the way you have your interview skills, man. So I'm over here learning from y'all, man. So I want to thank y'all so much once again for coming on the show today.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. And so before we get started, man, Bob Black Television, man. So before we get too deep about what Bob Black Television is, let's start off with Deon. Deon, just tell us about who you are and where you're from.
All right. Once again, thank you for having us. My name is Deon Parker. I go by D Park. I guess you can say I'm one of the main camera guys, part of Bob Black Television. I'm originally from Waco, Texas. Born in Panama City, Panama. Lived in Waco for a majority of my life, and then I moved to the Dallas area in 2018, right? And I would say about 2019 is when I met Bashir. We started working at the same bank. He was always we started out kind of rocky. He was a little rough on me, but we just grew to become really good coworkers. And Bashir actually shared this vision with me about him wanting to start this whole media company probably pretty soon after we started working together. And it was one of those things where when your friend tells you an idea, it's like, okay, we should do that. Yeah, that sounds like a cool idea. Oh, okay, yeah, we should do that. And he would always say like, no, I really want to do something. I want to do this. I want to do media. I want to do this. And we were just kind of like, yeah, okay, we'll get to that one day. And COVID happened. That's kind of when we started getting a little bit more serious. And then 2022 summer is kind of when we started this whole thing and really started posting and taking it serious. And it's kind of just been up from there. So that's a little bit about me. I'm a photographer turned videographer. I have a lot of different passions, and telling stories that we've been able to tell is kind of one of them that's grown up on me within this last couple years. So that's me. Bashir, go ahead and I guess tell them a little bit about yourself.
Yes, sir. The man Bashir, the Mr. AKA Paparazzi. Yes, sir. Like you said, just tell us a little bit about you and where you're from.
I'm Bobby Bashir paparazzi out of Niagara Falls, New York, um, honeymoon capital of the world. I actually moved to Texas February 28th of 2012. Um, BBTV, that's shoot, my baby. Like Deon was saying, like, just I've always wanted to be into media. I've always wanted to have something that I can align with my purpose as far as just an imprint on the Black community in some way, shape, or form. So I knew my business was going to have something to do with Black entertainment or Black exposure. Before it was by Black television, it was EOTO, which was Each One Teach One. And then it transformed into that. Like Deon said, I met him at the bank. Man, that was one of the best things ever. Because I would like to say I have a lot of visions of what I want to see, but actually bringing those things to light sometimes with me not having a videographer background, um, man, my man makes it happen. And we are a dynamic duo. Um, and yeah, BBTV. That's basically how we started.
I like to see the Black Brotherhood, man. That just makes me more happy to see positive Black Brotherhood, man. Like, it's very rare that you find that, especially in media, that you have like that's kind of how me and my co-host Brandon were. We kind of just like a dynamic duo, but we started off in college, so that's kind of how we met. But to see you all had one, your job, and now you're trying to turn this into an actual career within media. So, did any of you have any prior media experience besides like photography at all, or at all?
For me, no. I didn't have any media experience. Like I said, I was just a photographer. Um, Nothing really media wise. So we're kind of just learning on the fly, learning kind of what our audience wants to see. Now that we're gaining a bigger and bigger audience, as we connect with more people and like, okay, this is kind of what we like from you guys, is what we enjoy seeing. Like I said, this kind of was a thing where when we started, we didn't know where it was going to go. And ever since we have started mid last year, and seeing the growth and seeing like, okay, this is kind of what I guess the algorithms or the audience that we build, is what we like. This is what they like to see. We kind of just been growing from that. So I don't know, Bashir, if you.
Well, back in high school, they used to have this thing called the black box where you did the media, the news for the school. I dibbled and dabbled in that. And back home, we had a Niagara Falls street news. We had like TV shows or we had guests. So I've flirted with it. Like, I've had many things that I've started, but it wasn't consistent with it. But this is a whole new level. This is a whole new experience being so far from home. And like Deon said, actually interacting with new people, new vibes, new experiences. So this is still a new experience for me day to day.
I was gonna say, now that I think about it, actually one of my closest friends, he's in media, so I guess I was, I've been by media. He's actually a news anchor in Austin. His name's Corey Mose. So I've watched him. When I moved up here to the Dallas area, actually, he was my roommate. So I watched him as he grew in the media field. So I guess I kind of learned a couple of things from him as well. So like I said, I guess I've been close to media, but never really thought of it kind of as something I wanted to pursue myself. But there's a lot of hard work that kind of goes into it that I kind of saw from him that I can kind of mirror upon myself. So now when I thought about it, I'm like, oh dang, can't even forget to shout out my guy.
Yeah, shout out to said Corey, right? Corey
Corey
Mose.
Mose. Corey
Yeah.
Mose.
Because man, he'll tell you, man, the business is it's different. You know what I mean? Like it's a beast. But I tell people all the time, I thank God I'm a big boy, because you gotta have thick skin in the media. Like, gotta have thick skin. But man, but to hear that you two do not have any media experience, and to see what y'all been doing, that speaks volume of talent, natural born talent. So shout out to y'all. And it's crazy because neither one of us, any of us, we're not from Dallas. So like to see how that kind of, because I come to Dallas for better opportunity. I know about y'all, but me for a better opportunity from small town Louisiana compared to here. But I'm like you come from New York and you're coming from Waco, which is not that far, but still it's still like a difference. So just to find each other in the city that y'all just kind of met each other. So it's kind of love to hear that story. I'm curious, how did you get the name? I mean, it's kind of cliche, but like, why did you use the name paparazzi, Bashir?
Actually, I'm a music artist, and my name is Bashir. I think the Bobby came from my uncle. He passed away, Jamil Jackson. He used to always call me Bobby. I think Bashir was a little bit too complicated for him. Um, and we were all coming up with AKA names, probably like 10th grade. The paparazzi just came from, hey, every time you see me, it looked like a camera needed to be by. Um, and I diverted from it and went to January 12th for my artist name. And then once the BBTV started popping off, I'm like, you know what? It's time to bring back Bobby Paparazzi.
Yeah, I like it, man, because like when y'all play y'all's TikTok videos, I'm like, all right, I know it's paparazzi. So it's like, but when y'all have other talent, I'm like, who is this now? I gotta find out, So it's just like, so I like to see that y'all mixed up. Man, that's amazing, man, to hear all that and have it all come together. We're gonna have a little bit more, y'all. We have Bob Black Television on the Straight Up Show podcast. Make sure you stay tuned on the other side of the break. Make sure you stay tuned.
I think straight up means to be able to speak in a way that is straight up, to be honest and to speak your truth.
Raw, uncut, you know what I mean? It's blunt, straight to the point. This is what it is.
It's just a place to be open and honest, and that's what I appreciate most about it. And it provides a place for community members to come together and just be straight up with each other about things that are going on in the world, because it affects all of us.
Unfiltered, raw, with all the cursing that Calvin does.
Straight up is just being real, telling it like it is, being you.
Being solid, being who you are, no matter what it is, no matter what situation you're faced with, right? This is who you are. It really speaks to me, saying it is what it is and it ain't what it ain't, straight up.
Years ago, my family had us scared when we thought my mom had breast cancer. It was painful to see her go through all the testing and witnessing her be just as scared. Fortunately, she did not have breast cancer, but millions of women and men aren't as lucky. So we here at Straight Up are supporting and standing with those who are battling and have survived breast cancer with our official breast cancer awareness merchandise. Just visit our website, straightupshowpodcast.com, and get yours today. All proceeds will be donated to local breast cancer foundations. So we encourage you not only to get educated, but join us as we stand straight up to breast cancer.
If you had to give your younger self any advice, what would it be?
To obey my mother. I finished high school at 16, and she had planned to send me from Fort Worth back to Marshall, Texas, to Wiley College, because I would have been the first grandchild of her 18 sisters and brothers to go to college. But I got married. Oh, she was so disappointed. And it took me 4 years and 4 babies to realize I was going to have to raise my husband too. So I cut my losses. I went home to my mother. And do you know, I had nerve enough to say, I'm ready to go to college now. And she says, I got no money to send you to nobody's college.
All right, welcome back to the Straight Up Show podcast. I am your host, Calvin. Joined by today the gentleman from Bob Black Television. We have Bashir, a.k.a. Paparazzi, and Deon. Thank y'all, D Park. Thank y'all so much for coming on the show today.
No,
thank you for having us.
we appreciate you having us, man, for real.
Yeah, and they're seeing like firsthand of like me flubbing up and not being all perfect. No, I'm just kidding, but like no, so they understand like because I'm pretty sure y'all have like y'all record take after take sometime, right? Or Yeah,
Whole
so
interviews.
yeah, so so you know how it is, and these gentlemen, they are quickly becoming very popular on social media to where they're giving back to not only they're doing man on the street, which is MOSs for those who are in journalism, but like they are actually going on the street and interviewing people, and they're doing it in a way to where it's not only showing people different cultures and stuff like that, but it's also helping other Black businesses. And so their brand is Buy Black Television. But you know, this was kind of a brainchild of Bashir. But you know, you guys talked about how y'all met at the bank, and then you had like a blueprint of how you wanted this to be. Uh, in this blueprint, what made you kind of give us a backstory of like, you know, you want to do this before, but like, how did you start and get the ground running with this?
It wasn't even about seeing other people do interviews. It was honestly um, looking up camera equipment. Just man, I think I looked up camera equipment for almost a year before we really dived in. But it really started off in the middle of COVID, the height of COVID. I go to a gym called Savage Fitness, and it's a lot of Black entrepreneurs there. And in the middle of COVID, it seemed like everybody was actually taking life a little bit more serious. Everybody was trying to put their best foot forward with their businesses or their ideas or their creativity. And I felt that we could actually make an imprint by actually supporting everybody, by highlighting business because, you know, marketing is one of the biggest tools in business, if not the biggest. So we wanted to be that tool. We wanted to be that hammer, that wrench that actually help Black businesses and the Black community out as far as exposure.
And with that being said, uh, Deon, like, what made you actually kind of like jump on board and actually support Bashir with this dream and kind of like, you know, you say you all had like a little rocky start at first, but like, what was the turnaround to where it actually made you actually want to back up and actually support him?
Well, I know for me, you know, like I said, he was a little hard on me at the bank, but you know, when you work together with somebody for so long, y'all end up starting to build a bond. And you know, during COVID, he was actually somebody that comes to my branch every once in a while. But during COVID, he actually was there at our branch pretty much every other day, if not every day. And so, you know, after that, we kind of started really building a relationship, really starting to get to know each other, and you know, it was kind of one of those things where you know I wanted to get into videography, and Bashir actually had a couple gear equipment that I could use and borrow. So it really started from that. You know, I wanted to get more into video, get it more into you know, I think we started out, he wanted me to shoot music videos just so I could get a ground based level of it. And then we just ended up, you know, continue to grow from there. And so, like I said, we kind of, you know, he kept sharing the vision with me. I was like, okay, this is kind of, you know, the more he kept breaking it down, explaining, oh yeah, I want to do something like this. I want to do something like this. And I was like, okay, well, I actually would enjoy, you know, being a part of something like that, and you know, being a outlet for Black businesses and just Black greatness. So that's kind of how we just continue to grow with this vision. So,
And that's great to hear, man. I love to hear that. And I think that I have a lot of questions, follow-up questions to ask y'all because, like, you know, I've been wanting to inbox y'all for a while now. I finally saw, you know, Deon go live, and I was like, all right, now I can like ask questions, you know what I mean? And like not it be so, you know, uniform or whatever. But just tell me, like, when y'all out there you're filming, like, first off, y'all mostly film in Dallas, is that correct? Mostly in Dallas?
as of now, yeah.
Okay. So and we know we've been in Dallas. You know, me and Deon been here a little shorter than Bashir, but we actually kind of came the same year to Dallas and started our journey. But man, Bashir, I don't know if you told Deon how it was going to be in Deep Ellum, but that was I don't see how y'all are brave, man, to go down there and then get that much traffic, but y'all really are doing a lot for the city because like you guys with Black Television, you're showing like kind of like the deep and I guess the rawness of Dallas that people don't really see, but just explain to us like how it is filming out there when you're on the streets in Dallas, like the type of people you're seeing and kind of how the experience it is.
I think a lot of it comes from our banking experience of being able to just talk to anybody and try to keep a certain level of professionalism. But you see some crazy stuff and you hear some crazy comments, and oh, we brave, but we not stupid. So every day, every time we go out there, we post up right next to the police. They, some of the videos you actually see their lights, but for the most part, it is raw. We've seen people that's on a journey, on a path in life. We've interviewed a lot of business owners, athletes, just a lot of people that come to Dallas and get that Dallas experience. But go to Deep Ellum in the art district in Dallas, and you get to see everyone's way of life and how many people actually come to Dallas from all sorts of places. We've spoke to people from Louisiana to Africa to you name it. We spoke to almost all walks of life in Deep Ellum.
And I think that because we've been on the journey this season to expose more of like Black people aren't a monolith. You know what I mean? Because I have my personal best friends, and two are nurses, and the other one is an entertainer, and I'm a journalist. But like we're all the same age and stuff like that. But to see us four be from Louisiana, I grew up in the projects. One grew up in the city. One grew up in the bayou, but one grew up in the country. So like we're all Black, but we grew up completely different. And you would think like, dang, like y'all both Black men, and like y'all grew up differently. Yeah, like we're not just one. We have different upbringings and stuff like that. So to kind of showcase that on our previous episode was like, dang, man, we really grew up different, but we all have the same struggle. You know what I mean? So I think that's why like I flock to y'all's like y'all's channel, because it does showcase like just pure rawness of Black people. And like me, because we're syndicated, I have to edit a lot of stuff, even though straight up I still have to like tone it down a little bit. But man, to see y'all like just the people y'all interview, man, I'm like, man, like that's Black excellence at its time, because it's like that's us though. It's entertainment, but it's also educational too. But it shows a different picture of like how we all are. But this what really tops the cake for me with Bob Black television. At the end of these entertaining and somewhat kind of like crazy interviews y'all do, you always end it with names at 3 Black businesses. And like the best part of these videos, and I think I told Deon this, was that I always look to see if they can do it, because it's like a challenge. And sometimes they fail, and sometimes and they promote their stuff or whatever. But like it's like, wow, like people are really caught up on the culture. You know what I mean? So like that is the best part of, I think, of this whole thing, is that y'all actually bring it, even though it's funny, you still bring it back to the mission statement, which is like, Bob Black, and so what was the concept of like adding that to your videos and like making that a part of y'all's kind of like niche, I guess?
I don't know if this year, I don't know if we planned to do that. Like I said, it was really all a learning lesson. Even from just going to Dallas, I think he hit me up and was like, yo, let's just go to Dallas and record and, see what happens. So literally our first batch of videos, you can see us in kind of a different location, trying to find good traffic, trying to find, where, we like to interview Black people. So where most of the Black people are at. It was kind of a little rough. But I don't know if that was kind of our goal, but I guess we were just kind of like, yo, yeah, go ahead.
I believe the reason that we started asking questions like name 3 Black businesses, because when we first got in the swing of things was in August, and August is Black Business Month. So that's when we first found. I mean, me myself at least, I seen it on Instagram, and I'm like, Black Business Month. Like, I didn't even know we had a month that was dedicated to Black businesses. So that's what made us go with asking name 3 Black businesses. And it's been since we buy Black business, it carried on.
Yeah. And I think it's something that since, most of these people are drunk or whatever, like you say, it's a challenge. A lot of people, some people can ring them off, they'll ring off 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 businesses. Some people can, you'd be like, yo, what's a black business? And you'd be like, nah, I don't know. And they'd be like, you don't got a hairstylist, but you don't got a hairstylist. She don't do your nails. And, oh yeah, I do got a homegirl. I'd be like, oh man, she gonna hate you. She gonna hate you when this drops. But yeah, I think after that first batch of us going down there, we were kind of like, yo, this is actually something that we should continue doing and highlight. And plus, it's helped us network with those black businesses and reach out to them. So we're like, well, let's just keep doing it and see where it goes. And like Bashir says, we've seen people from all walks of life. We had people shout out businesses from all over the country. So,
and I like to see it because y'all have been getting great reception from this. So much so that you have Chance the Rapper follows y'all. I mean, how does that feel to have Chance the Rapper follow y'all?
That was really random. I don't know what video he saw from us, but I was like, dang, that's kind of crazy that we reached, a celebrity. So, yeah, it was just kind of unexpected, but it felt good. It felt good. It felt like, our videos are making our way to the right people, so.
I also feel like we probably got that look from our first viral moment, which is a young lady from Chicago. And now she's part of the team, Anakin. She was our first viral moment, and she was one of those people that as soon as we asked her the question, it's like she was waiting all night to answer, and her Chicago aura spoke so much volumes to the listeners and the viewers that it became a big moment for us. I believe it was in our second week. So just think of posting videos for 2 weeks and then out of nowhere you go viral in the second week of doing it. And it was, yeah. So I think that's where Chance really caught his eye at.
It is like it's meant to be almost. You know what I mean? Like it's just like once that lightning hits, man, you just kind of keep, going. Before we go to commercial break, kind of tell people like, because you all have had some success, right? But like you said, you started during COVID, and just to see what COVID did to a lot of businesses and how you all were able to like kind of assist with helping that. When it comes to like starting something brand new, what's some of the keys that keep y'all going and kind of, because I tell people all the time, like, oh, I want to start a podcast. I'm like, well, you can say it, but you have to dream it first off, put the work in, and then actually start to be consistent. Like, so how is it that when, because when everything opened back up, people started stuff and then stopped stuff. What's making y'all be so consistent and hungry to continue by Black television?
In my opinion, I believe it's teamwork and realizing that, especially when I have a job, he has a job, and other people that's part of the team have jobs. Everybody just putting their own spice in it. Like it's sometimes it might be a week where I'm out of town. I'm doing so much stuff, and Deon, you know what I mean? He's there, and that's what a team is all about. That's why it takes a team, it takes a crew, because people can actually fill in those gaps. And I think that's one of the biggest things for us that has kept us consistent is all of us have the common goal to make BBTV that much better. So everybody puts their input in.
Yeah, and I think also just having a strong vision, like we kind of know where we want this to continue to grow. And, I guess we're all hungry to, like you said, just add and, if somebody's maybe quote unquote slacking or, they're busy, life happens. I don't mind picking up the slack because, I know if I'm slacking or whatever, I know I got somebody that's going to, hold it down for us while we get back focused. There's been times where, one of us is discouraged, one of us hits us up, and then we back on it. We back vibe. You know what I'm saying? When one of us like, man, I don't know what's going on, X, Y, and Z, this is happening. And I don't know about Bashir, but shoot, anytime I talk to him, he always got an idea, and I'm like, okay, shoot, I mean, he locked and loaded, so you don't really have time to think about the process. You just you're really just worried about the end result, and that's kind of, I guess, what keeps me locked in as much as possible. So
I think Bashir sound like me, man. Like I can't go to sleep. I just have an idea in my head, man. Like I actually have to write it down. Say, man, I don't want to forget this because it just popped in my head, man. I don't know if you're the same way, Bashir, but like I'm always like, man, I got an idea. Boom, let me put this to paper. Like just, I'm the
My
same
notepad
way.
is full. The notepad on your phone, the notes.
Yes.
I'm always talking to it, man. I understand Kanye when he be having his moments and saying he's all over the place because, when you watch so many things for inspiration, you get inspired in so many different fields, from music to, hey, let's do this podcast, or let's do this show, or let's interview this person. And it's a lot of people that are in parallel businesses to us that we look for inspiration, or we look for businesses. So it's always something to think about.
Man, I love to hear that, man. Y'all are really encouraging me right now because like to see y'all thriving and like we're so close, man. Like y'all, this is why Buy Black Television is quickly exploding, and we're gonna talk about their future coming up on Side of Break. Make sure you stay tuned. The Straight Up Show podcast.
Straight up, we know that all lives matter, but historical events have shown that there is an inverse power dynamic between the races in our country. To highlight this, we present our Black Lives Matter merchandise. Because let's be real, some of you don't seem to understand that this isn't the organization, but a message. That message: end inequality towards minorities in America. And just in case that's too complicated for you in English, we have the phrase translated into 10 different languages. Visit straightupshowpodcast.com for this and all our other merch. That's STR8 showpodcast.com. Shirts as low as $19.99.
Hey, welcome to a brand new episode of the Straight Up Show podcast. I am your host, Calvin.
And it provides a place for community members to come together and just be straight up with each other.
There's only one rule to our show. You gotta be
everybody out there, I'm Sultan Salahuddin from Southside. Season 3 is out right now on HBO Max. Make sure you tune in, and make sure you tune into the Straight Up Podcast Show whenever you are online. Peace.
A woman loves it when a man
believes in women's rights.
Okay, all right. A woman loves it when a man
treats her with respect.
3 things that y'all love about black people.
Oh, don't get her started.
Oh, come on with it.
Culture, food, and personality.
Hey, I like you. Okay.
Welcome back to the Straight Up Show podcast. Today I have the guys from Buy Black Television out here in Dallas. So once again, I have Deon and Bashir, aka Paparazzi, also aka D Park with Deon. So once again, y'all, thank y'all so much for coming on the show.
Man, it's been a pleasure being on here, man. It's been a pleasure.
And it's crazy because, like, I don't know why I'm being fidgety or nervous. Because, like, to me, these guys are like kind of like a mirror to me, and like the passion and the hungriness. I'm like, man, this is just like, I'm kind of nervous because I'm like, man, y'all, it's weird. It's kind of like when I first came to Plano, right, in my hometown I'm in right now, and like I didn't see other black people here, so I'm like, I'm in the store like, oh, I'm here. I see you too. So like, to find somebody in media that does and have the same hunger I got, it's kind of like, I see you, so I'm over here like nervous, like you like my long lost brother or something. So man, like thank y'all so much for coming on the show today. And like these gentlemen are doing some of the great work in the community. Not only they're interviewing people of all kinds, but they're doing it in a way to where it gets back to other Black businesses and helping them out. They are quickly shooting to the moon. They're getting more notarized, so much by even Chance the Rapper follows them. And they are just doing more things in the community to help build other Black businesses up right now. So that's their mission. Now, things have not been easy, especially with our team over here at Straight Up. And like, everyone has their difficulties to get to where they are right now. And, even though you guys kind of had lightning strike y'all to go viral so fast, I'm pretty sure it hasn't always been that easy. So, Deon, can you tell us a little bit about like some of the early difficulties y'all have had, well, even right now doing Bob Black television?
Excuse me. I think one of the first one is figuring out social media. Figuring out these algorithms, trying to see what the algorithms will like, because as we all know, you may post something. And the algorithm not going to show it to your followers until 3, 4, 5 a week later. I know TikTok's showing people stuff from 2-3 weeks ago. So just kind of figuring out that. Also, connecting with businesses. I know everybody's busy, so sometimes we reach out to some businesses. They may be extremely busy, or they may not understand our vision or what we're trying to convey. So they may not take us as serious. But I mean, those are kind of the big two, is just kind of figuring out, because there's a lot of videos that we think like, yo, this is going to go crazy. But, the algorithm's just not messing with us. They not going to show this. And the ones that we don't expect to do as well, maybe they don't have the best answers or whatever the case may be. Those have been the ones that, had tend to do the best, which is kind of crazy to us. And, attempting to continue to push like positivity, because I know if we were to post, kind of negativity and craziness and foolishness, maybe that'll probably, the algorithms will mess with us on that level. But, us trying to focus on pushing out a positive message, I know it's going to be a slow burn. So you just kind of have to just continue to, push out this positivity and, keep building our audience that wants to see more of our Black stories and our public interviews. So, Bashir, I don't know if you got any other things that you can think of.
You kind of hit the nail on the head with the linking up with businesses. Like we've had businesses cancel the interview the day after the interview, after it was scheduled. Like, and I don't mean to say this by saying like, all right, I'll set this interview up with you, and then a day later you call me back and cancel. I mean, like the day that we were supposed to meet, the day after that. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do that interview. So that, like you said, that's one of the biggest things is is some people, everybody's busy, and we understand that. You know what I mean? And changing the format, because the format wasn't always like this. Shout out to Catherine Levin. She works for NBS or ABC. She's actually in broadcasting. She's in Houston. She's definitely one of the members of the team. But we used to do interviews that were much longer, multiple camera setup. And when we looked at how long it took to edit those 45-minute interviews with all those cameras and all that audio, we had to change things up a little bit to the new setting and the easier to watch setting. Everybody has a shorter attention span, so I think those are the two things for me that were kind of tumultuous.
Yeah. Now y'all see my pain, man. Trying to do this podcast, it's like and then when you get syndicated, it's even worse, man, because you got to be in like between an hour and like, man, go back and re-edit stuff. Yeah, you got to be within an hour. You got to do this, and Some places like want to have like a radio, so you gotta make sure that you cut it into commercials and all this and that. It's a lot, man, to get it, but it's worth it though. You know what I mean? Because you're getting more exposure now. You know what I mean? So like, you can kind of cry about it, but it's like, man, you know what? I can't complain because I know where I started at. You know what I mean? So y'all have grown and you're getting notoriety and stuff like that. Y'all have been able to battle, the adversity and stuff like that. But at this time, let's address the haters. Uh, anything that you do, you have haters and stuff like that. So like, have y'all had any particular instance where haters like really just coming at y'all a certain way? And this goes to Bashir. Like, has anybody really came at you or said anything negative about Bob Black Television?
I haven't really had any haters per se. The biggest concern is, we in Texas, so I have friends from many backgrounds. I have a lot of Hispanic friends, and they're like, "Hey, I would really love to help." You know what I mean? But why it got to be Buy Black Television? Like, and I try to get them to understand that Buy Black Television isn't really against anybody else. It's just imperialism for ourselves. With us having so many things to, so many narratives about us, not from us. We want to put our own narrative out there. Sometimes it's the righteous, sometimes it's the ratchet, but it'll be from us, and it'll be from a different place. It won't be from a place of agenda. So if you see anything ratchet, it's just, hey, it's life, not an agenda behind it to be pushed to change somebody's narrative or change somebody's outlook on how to look at people of color. When you see something righteous, now that's probably going to be something that we're pushing out there for agenda, because that's what we're trying to push. We're trying to push, like you said, we come up in all shapes, forms, colors, and dynamics from different backgrounds. So explaining that will be one of the biggest things. So it's not really hate, but the lack of understanding that we want people to actually honor us, and we want us to honor ourselves.
Yeah, and I don't think we get the hate more so as our guests that be on the show. I think everybody enjoys us, but some of the comments for some of our guests and the answers they give, they definitely, you can go find the comments where they are getting flamed. So
I know
one we had one bad one. We interviewed some ladies, and I don't think I don't think we interviewed those ladies. We that was going in and everything.
I wasn't expecting, and again, see, that was one of the things that we wasn't expecting that one to be shown to everybody, but it was, and we had a lot of comments about, oh, that's all they talk about, that's all they want. I was like,
yeah. They drunk. I was like, yo, you got to give them a pass. I don't even think, you know what I mean? But
yeah, that's all we be asking. Like, yo, they're under the influence, so I'm sure a lot of people, when we post them, they like, oh, hey, can you delete that? I actually was not. I don't even remember saying that.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, we got you. Yeah, we got you. We've had some interesting people on the, on the show, and we're like, okay, well, now we understand. You got a corporate job. You probably didn't even, you don't even remember this, so we'll let you slide.
Yeah, so. I remember you said it on your live the other day. You was like, yes, a lot of people that come up to me like, delete that, my boyfriend, or something like that. Like, I'm like, wow, like.
Yeah, this one girl, she said something. She had said something wild, and I had posted it, and she DM'd me like immediately after and was like, yo, my I have a couple, gentlemen that I'm dealing with, and actually I need you to delete that. I don't need them asking me questions about who is the last person I've been with. If they do the math, they'll figure it out. And I was like, you know what? We got you. We got you, yo. We'll get rid of that. We ain't gonna mess up your homes, your happy homes that you're attending to.
Man, like I'm smiling because, like, man, y'all's creativity it's something that's not, I think it's futuristic, to be honest with you. Like the way that, because people don't understand, is like media in itself is slowly transcending. Like anybody can kind of be like a reporter, but like it's just not like you have to be creative with it, because I could just stick a camera in your face and like whatever. Like what's his name? Keith Lee just sit down and ate food. You know what I mean? Now look at him. So it's just like, but the way y'all are doing it is, to me, I think, and people don't understand, it's like the more raw you are, the more trusted you are. You know what I mean? That's why we have our podcast. My first celebrity interview, they came after me because I was just posting like some random stuff, and like our one of our top episodes about OnlyFans. And I'm like, but it's like what? And like, because it makes you like, dang, like, but it's something that everybody else is doing. So when I ask about why are you doing it, so if I were on the street right now and I see BBTV coming out, what's a question, like, how do y'all form y'all's questions, or what's type of questions that you would ask me if you saw like just me, a random Joe on the street? What's some questions that y'all would like ask people?
We kind of, it's so raw that we actually come up with the questions most of the time on the spot. Bashir has like a deck of cards that have some crazy questions on there, but most of them we either see them on social media, somebody may have done, we may tweak it or we may use it. But most of the time it's like, yo, what you feeling tonight? Oh, is there a holiday coming up? Let's ask them something towards the holiday. Like I say, it's really raw. Like we will meet up in Dallas and say, okay, bro, what you thinking? What you thinking? Okay, that's a cool question. Okay, maybe not this week. We'll ask that next time. Let's use one of our old questions. It's really just a toss up, and like you say, it's really raw. Like we be having these conversations with people like on the fly. So you'll see us, me and Bashir, be trying to hold it together. I mean, we hear the wildest answers that we be thinking like this is a calm and chill question, and we will get something just straight out of nowhere. Like, okay, well, hey, congrats to you. Next question, I guess. But yeah, we would just kind of come up with them on the fly. Sometimes we may borrow them, but it's mostly we meet up and we kind of figure it out type deal.
If we went out this weekend, if I seen you, and I had the mic, my question would probably be, hey, free game for the ladies. Give us 3 things that men would like for Valentine's Day, and then give me 3 things that men are tired of getting for Valentine's Day.
Okay. So just kind of like situational thing, like, right? Kind of just.
Yeah, but I want you to give me 3 things though.
Woo. What's the question again? Like, wow, like three things. I mean, like, that's,
got him.
Give me 3 things.
They're tired
give me
of getting
3 things that men would want for Valentine's Day, and give me 3 things that men are tired of getting for Valentine's Day.
Well, 3 things men probably want would be, of course, just be quiet and like, sex, and then maybe a video game in the back rub. What they were tired of getting is like clothes, tools, and like cologne. Like that's be different, so that's about it,
But see, that's game. That's game, because a lot of females think when they hit the cologne or the watch, it's like
they think they be killing it.
Yeah, like nah.
This is Gucci guilty, like, yeah, but it's kind of like the generic thing to give me. It's like,
yeah, be creative. I think women don't understand this point that like men are simple. We're very simple. We don't really want like extravagant stuff like y'all do. So I mean, that's my thing. But I can't believe you hit me like, because I knew you had to come get me back because I'm interviewing you now. Now you're trying to flip it on me and interview me. Because that's why I had to stop for a second. Is he interviewing me right now? Wait a minute. Like, I said, wait a minute. You can't do this to me now. Wait a minute. We just talked about this. Like, but I mean, does that feel weird to you to be interviewed right now? Just to have you being interviewed and you're the interviewer?
To be honest with you, for the first time, I've never even thought about being interviewed, but it makes me want to look back at this interview and definitely tighten up on my answering skills and, you know what I mean? Conveying my message.
Man, let me tell you, one of my biggest criticisms I had in working in news was that I wasn't really taking time out to really answer questions. But then I used to get down on myself because I wasn't forming my style I wasn't forming that person criticizing me style of journalism. but somebody from a different state and that was a higher kind of like position said, man, that you're so different, you're so raw. So it's like you have to really find your narrative style of the way you interview people. The way you're doing it, you're killing it, man. Like to never have like gone to school or never done this ever, you're killing it, man. Like I've seen, and your friend will tell you, your friends will tell you, like, man, there are people in the business right now, professionally, that don't even can't touch you right now. So it's like I learned to not listen to other people. Just take what you can from other people and find what best fits you. And what you're doing right now isn't bad. Like right now, like they told me I could never do certain things in media because of my size. I'm like, man, look at me. I'm about to approach 100 episodes of a podcast, syndicated. So it's like you can't let people determine your future, And with that being said, Bashir, this is kind of like your brainchild. This is your baby. You are currently having multiple success with Bob Black Television, and you have a great team with Deon and all the other people in your team. Where do you see the future of Bob Black Television, and where do you want to see it go?
Man, the future is being a household name, being in some sorts a Black Netflix. I want to see podcasts. I want to see short films. I want to see, or where you're going to see many webcams, stage plays of us filming. We actually just did an interview with Antrice Jones, which is a filmmaker, a producer, and I want to make a way. I want Buy Black Television to be a tunnel for anybody that's creative, whether you're an actor, whether you are a producer, whether you're a graphic designer. I want it to be Netflix meets Fiverr. So if you are familiar with Netflix, that's where you get to see your videos. But if you know Fiverr, that's where a bunch of independent contractors. I want to be able to, hey, if you as a visionary need a film crew, I want to be, if you not getting it directly from us, I want to be able to link you to certain people. You know what I mean? It's all about bridging the gap for the whole community, so we all can actually be more independent as a people and interdependent as a family.
I like that. Same question for you, Deon. Like, what would you think you want to see BBTV go to?
Just piggybacking on what he said, ultimately I want us to just be a resource for anything Black. We want to, he said Netflix and Fiverr. I want us to be I guess a cleaner or different version of like a Say Cheese or some of those blog sites where we focus on mostly positivity, funny things, and like I said, we're working on being a network, so we're gonna have a lot of different things that we can offer you as far as entertainment goes. I want us to eventually have BBTV where we go interview businesses, BBTV where we're doing our interviews in downtown, wherever, BBTV like a financial area where we have somebody that gives out financial literacy tips or financial literacy just structure to your life, and where you can just get some education. Maybe have a little section where if you want some ratchetness, you can go find that. But just kind of just being a network of any and everything that you're looking for. So that's kind of what I'm hoping, and we're continuing to grow into that, and continue just building our team to where, like you said, we can really help out and send people here and have you go over here and go film this, and have you go over and film this, and eventually become I guess national in a sense.
Wrapping things up right now, and I definitely support y'all, what y'all do. It is at this point I'm kind of like fanboying a little bit because where I come from when it comes to media, there isn't much representation in front or behind the camera. So just to see y'all doing this right now, it is something that I thought I would never see in my career. So that's kind of why I'm kind of giddy and kind of excited because like y'all kind of have the same passion I got. So and to have it here in my new hometown, it's like, dang, man, now I gotta, we're gonna link up now. We're gonna see where I can help. When I get through with this, I'm gonna see how I can help. Like because I support what y'all are doing. So for those who don't follow you on social media and stuff like that, or they want to support you, Bashir, how can people follow you and support BBTV?
Buy Black Television, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Did I forget anything?
Those are the main ones right now.
BUI
guess-
Black Television.
All right.
If you want to reach out, support in any type of way, hit us at Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Buy Black Television. BBTV is the network. You can email us at Buy Black Television, Buy Black TV at Gmail.
Okay. And of course, if you're listening to this, we'll have it in the show's description. And it will also have it on the ticker below if you're watching this right now. One last question before from each of you, and I'll start with Deon. What's the importance of Black exposure in America or in the world? Black American exposure?
I think the biggest thing is that, we have a lot of networks that showcase us in a not so good light, and so our goal is to continue to just show us in all the great work that we're doing, whether that's businesses, whether that's the hardships and things that overcome as far as being an entrepreneur. Some of the stories we've been blessed to showcase, interviewing Miss Opal Lee. We've interviewed Miss Rhonda out there doing the work for the homeless in Dallas. We interviewed a young kid that just overcame cancer, and he started a foundation to help give back to people that's also suffering from cancer. Just continue just showing Black greatness. So that's kind of I don't think we have something like that. I know for, me and Bashir talk about it as well. We didn't start seeing people go to Deep Ellum and doing what we do until we started doing it. We could be wrong. I'm open to being wrong, but we didn't start seeing people go down there and interview until we started doing it. So, our focus is really just to continue to show Black greatness, and we want to really stand by that. So, yeah.
All right, and Bashir, the same question to you. Let you answer it last. What's the importance of having Black exposure, Black American exposure?
Being able to tell your story through your voice, being the narrator of your own story. I think that's priceless. Kind of like what Deon said. Everyone depicts us how they want to. We want to be able to control the narrative, and man, it gives the next generation so much hope to not only want to be, and don't get me wrong, I make music, but not only to want to be a rapper or to be an athlete, to know that you can be a dentist like Dr. Rose and a rapper, like to know that you may have not even finished college, but you can still make six figures off of doing a business that you're passionate about. Seeing people from different levels, like you don't have to be a millionaire to be wealthy. You don't have to be a millionaire to be happy. You don't have to shun away from your own community to be happy. You know what I mean? You can be fulfilled and have a fulfilled life and still give to your community and partake and be in your community. From community outreach or community front lines, from Black coffee, a coffee shop. You know what I mean? If you don't see anything become successful, you'll never know that you can make $1 million off of selling socks. if you never seen somebody make $1 million off of selling sides. So I guess that's what we want to give to the Black community and show the next generation that anything you put your mind to, you can be great at, and you can achieve the goals that you want to achieve and the status that you want to achieve. So by highlighting other businesses and Black businesses, hopefully that encourages the whole community.
Well, I bought in. You want me to buy in a Black television? I bought in because you see why I'm a fan of these guys, and they're selling buy Black television, and they just sold me. So this is why you guys should follow them and see the great work that they're doing and support them, not just in the Black community, but in all communities, because we are part of this melting pot in America, and we all should come together and hear each other. And these gentlemen are definitely doing a great job of giving this exposure to these other businesses. So, gentlemen, once again, buy Black television, and Bashir, aka Paparazzi, Deon, aka D Park, thank you so much for coming on the show today, sir.
Thank you so much. And really quick before we head out, we do have some dope projects we're working on as far as we want to go at least a week of doing everything Black, Black products, Black meal prep, whatever, Black lotion, Black food. So eventually we do want to partner with some of these businesses. If you are in the Dallas area, well, I mean, I guess you don't have to be in the Dallas area, but if you are nearby, or if you want to donate or just partner with us, we would love help with that project. We don't know when we would start it, but if you would love to partner with us and reach out to us on that. Also, too, we are taking cash donations. But sure, you got the Cash App, so if y'all do want to donate and support us in that way, what we do isn't cheap at all. So anything helps. The little, a lot, whatever you got, we'll take it. So y'all can donate in that fashion. And if y'all see us across your timeline, we appreciate just a share, a comment, whatever, that's free. So, whatever that costs you, can you give us that? The algorithms are really weird. So
if you're watching right now, we're gonna have all the information on the ticker below. We'll have it repeated again to make sure you support these gentlemen, because as you all know, it's not cheap doing this by yourself. So you really have to have a passion to do that, and that in itself should be donated and supported. So once again, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on the Straight Up Show podcast. I definitely want to extend an invitation to y'all to come back down the line. And like I said, I'm going to be helping y'all with this, because I definitely support and I have bought in to buy Black television. Y'all, that's the end of our show. We want to continue the conversation. Make sure you go to our website, straightupshowpodcast.com. That's STR8upshowpodcast.com. There you can see this episode. You can hear it, and you can see some of the links, social media, to their page to help them with their projects as well. Also, you can go to see our old videos and our old episodes. If you want to be like them and support us, you can go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/StraightUpShowPodcast 318. Straight Up Show Podcast 318 at patreon.com. Until then, there's only one rule to our show. You gotta be
straight up.
All right. See y'all soon.